that was a result today that will have hurt yourself and hurt a lot of people around the place. What's your reaction to?
It's certainly really hurt me, that's for sure. I'm only getting out of the change room now. I just don't understand it at times. It's so frustrating. And first half we were in control. We had a couple of really good chances in the first half, didn't take them, and then I said to Mackers, is it going to be one of these days? We don't take our chances again, and then we'll start panicking again and start losing our composure, and it proved to be that way. We come out in the second half, we had a chat to them half time and said to them, your final pass and your final cross and your shots, it all has to be better. It has to be make better decisions, and we had a good chat to them at half time and said be composed in the final third, and again we come out in the second half, and then again in these competitions things happen all the time, and for me it's a clear offside that gives them a lead. With that lead, that gives them a lift. It gives them something to hold on to and to sit in and defend, and they did it, and they did it well. And apart from when they hit us on the counter just slightly after it, they never really threatened our goal apart from it. But on the flip side, we were in really good areas, and again we didn't threaten our goal enough, and we didn't make the goalkeeper work enough. And again, we were in lots of good positions and with lots of good opportunities to do that, but we didn't do it. And the quality we have on the pitch, there's no reason why we can't capitalise on those chances that we're getting and creating and take one of them. As I keep saying, cup football, we know there's extra time. We only need one goal. There's no point in panicking. But the problem is when you're off the pitch, you're on the sideline, you can't do that. You can't say anything to the players on the pitch. It's them when they're on the pitch. They have to be composed. They have to not panic. Not have the fear going a goal behind. There's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of time to get a goal. And if it's only one goal, then we can win the extra time. If we can get 2 goals, even better. But today we just weren't good enough in the final third, and it's been a recurrent theme. And I just said these are now before this interview. I think we've won 3 games against the teams in the bottom 6, and if you count Loughgall and Welders in that, 3 games out of 13. And that's not good enough, because we won more against the top 6. So clearly the qualities are when you can beat the top 6 sides, but clearly when we play the bottom 6 sides and teams lower than us, I think the expectation of people expecting us to win, is starting to play in their minds.
Is it a mentality thing then?
I think it is, yeah. It's the only thing where we've looked at everything, we've changed formations, we've changed personnel, we've changed everything, but it seems to be when we play teams in the bottom 6 and people expect us to win, that we don't seem to be able to do it. And I've said it in there to the players, so it's not as if it's not something we're saying behind their backs or anything. We've said it, the stats don't lie, that's factual, and again, too many games against them teams this year, we've let ourselves down, and we'll have to work it out, and if we don't work it out, then we're going to have to change players. But as we've seen in the January window, that's not that easy, because we've worked all of January to try and get players in. Thankfully we got Succa, unfortunately can't play in the cup, but we need more players in. But unfortunately the market out there at the minute is just off the scale, either for transfer fees or for wages, and and no matter how hard we worked and how hard we tried, we couldn't get people over the line. And as I say, it's all right saying at the minute that we need to bring in different personnel, but at the minute it's not out there, so it's very, very difficult to change what we have. But certainly in this minute in time, the results against teams in the bottom 6 and teams in the league below, they haven't been good enough, and the players have to take responsibility as well as ourselves for that as well. But when they cross that line, unfortunately they're the only ones who can do anything about it. And we've looked at it, every aspect of it, and it's just so frustrating. It is actually so frustrating when you can see how they can play against Crusaders. They go to Coleraine, and they've played against Linfield a couple of times. Okay, maybe not always got the results, but performances were good. 70 of the players were performing, and the flip side of that is, when you play the likes of Linfield and Cliftonville and Glentoran and teams like that, nobody probably gives you a chance of winning, so they can go out and the pressure's off them and they can just go and play and enjoy it. We try to say to them to do the same against the bottom 6, but for whatever reason it doesn't seem to be the same.
It must be particularly annoying as well that we've gone out of all 3 cups to lower league opposition, because obviously yes, in the league you can maybe claw those points back against different sides or whatever, but because they're one-off games, you sort of expect to raise your game in those games.
Yeah, you expect that, but one thing's for sure, they're going to be raising their games when they come to play you. So I told them before the game, you have to match that, you have to be up for it as them. I said that's the minimum today. You have to match their fight, match their desire, match their hunger, and if you don't do that, these teams here come. It's their cup final at the end of the day, playing a team in the league above them, and they'll come and they'll give every last inch, and then when they get a goal, and gives them something to hang on to. They find more energy, more belief out of that. But then we have to stand up and be counted. In terms of work rate and stuff like that, I can't fault players for that. But in terms of quality today and desire and I just think we need to be better, a lot better in the final third, especially. And it just seems to be in these games, we're going creating chance after chance against the top teams. Even against Glenavon last week, I know they beat us, but we were creating chances after chances and looked like scoring. But today, again, bar I think the goalkeeper made a save from Peter from a free kick, and a couple of longish range efforts that weren't really saves. They saved them, but they weren't hard. We didn't do enough, and that can't be the case. You should be making their goalkeeper work. First half, we said, I think we had one shot on target in the first half in 45 minutes with the wind. And again, that was the same the other week when Linfield come here. We played really well the first half against Linfield, and then the second half with the wind, we didn't have a shot on target. So we need to be better in that final third, and we've got good players there, and we just need them to stand up and be counted. And we've got enough quality. We've seen Peter and Fitzy and boys like that. Skinner can all score goals, but again, we keep going back to the same thing in terms of in the bottom six. When we play the teams in what we call our league, at this minute in time, we need to be better in these games, and we need to be more dominant in the final third and more clinical in the final third and make better decisions in the final third, because it's been an Achilles heel of us this season. We have a lot more of them games to come, so listen, the penny has to drop at some stage, and again, we all have to take responsibility, and especially when we cross the line, we have to make sure we get results, because at the end of the day, we've let everybody down at the football club today. So we have, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to lie, I thought, after we got the late win against Glenavon, I thought this could be our year. I really believed it, but when you see that performance today, it certainly wasn't going to be our year.
Let's go back to the moment that's ultimately knocked us out of the cup today. You felt that goal was offside?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I thought it was a clear offside, but listen, I'm not going to make excuses, but certainly that does put them on the front foot in terms of giving them belief. Up until that point, they hadn't really threatened us. They hadn't really been in the game that much. But when they get that goal, it gives them something to hang on to. It gives them extra energy. It lifts their spirits, and they can start believing that they can hang on, and that's exactly what happened. But certainly offside. There's no doubt about that. But as I said, that's not me making an excuse. That's a fact. But after that, certainly we should have been better and created more, and we should have took one of the chances. As I said, we had long enough to play. And we create enough chances, and all it takes is one goal to bring it in extra time. All it takes is one goal to give us a lift and maybe even win it in full time. But at the very least, we should have been with the chances that we created after that. We should have took one of them and at least forced extra time, and then maybe had another chat after the end of the game to get us into there. But listen, it's over now. Regardless if it was offside or not, the linesman's made a mistake, and we're out of the cup, and that's not acceptable.
You'll have heard the reaction at full time. You touched upon the record that we've had. How frustrated and disappointed are you? Do you understand the frustrations of the fans, first and foremost?
Listen, there's nobody who understands it as much as me, because I'm a supporter myself. I've supported this club all my life, but it's just so hard, and we're doing everything in our power. We try to get players in, we try to lift it, but we can't. We're sitting at this minute in time with one right winger, and we try to get wingers in, we couldn't get them in. It's just so hard, and the market's so hard, and that's not making excuses. You look and speak to all our managers. Seen Baxter come out and said the same thing, and they're paying the wages they're paying. If they can't get players in, what chance have clubs like ourselves? Other clubs like Portadown are going signing players, but they're all from the Championship, and they've taken obviously Paul McElroy from Ballymena, but the wages that he's getting, we couldn't have gotten here. So there's a combination of things, but it's so hard for us to go out and change things and improve things at this minute in time in the current market and the way it is.
Looking ahead then, Friday night we're away to Larne. Difficult enough, try to tie for us, but I suppose it's top six side, you never know.
Yes, and we usually perform better in them games, and it's been proven this season. I'm not always saying we're going to get results, but certainly we've put it up to a lot of the top six sides, and we're getting performances in them games. But hopefully we can go on Friday night, and we'll take I don't even know if it'll be over this by next Friday night, but I'll go home this weekend. It's going to be a hard weekend. You know, me and the staff, you know, will be hurting. I know we're all sitting in there and they're hurting, and I'm hoping the players hurt the same way, because, you know, I know the supporters will be hurting, and we all have to be in this together, and that's the way football is. We all have to hurt, especially the players and the coaching staff. We all have to hurt, because at the end of the day it's our responsibility to get results at this football club.